Hello there, my name is Valerie White Williams, and today I'm talking about Mars in the 8th house. So the planet of Mars is kind of your physical energy and your physicality, because Mars kind of represents the physical body and the action that goes with it. So taking action, and the 8th house is that really mysterious house. It's kind of associated with Scorpio. And it's kind of a secretive house. It's kind of one of those mystic houses. It is a water house, basically. And it's kind of where we have a lot of secrets and death and rebirth. There's a lot of plutonic energy where you're like transforming things under the water, and sex and inheritances and things like that. So kind of a lot of things that people don't want to talk about. So when you have Mars, which is a take action planet, it's a little bit like water, under the water. So there's a lot going on, but sometimes you don't see it actively, although it's super powerful. So people that have Mars in the 8th house are almost power generators. They have a lot of energy, but it's not always actively seen because it's kind of in this deep water. But underneath there's watch out, because that energy can be very powerful and hit you where you don't know. Now, the thing about Mars in the 8th house, it's kind of a cliche, but I need to say it, is usually those people are very sexual in nature. I mean, we all are, right? But there's a lot more push for having experiences. Now, it feels very male, but you're definitely going to take a lot of action in that arena. And it's really important to you, and it really energizes you. So, it depends on lots of things, but typically people that have Mars in the 8th house, we could call them more like highly sexed than maybe other people. They really need that release to get power. Now, they also might use another use of Mars in the 8th house is because that is the house of death and rebirth and transitions and transforming things, that people that have Mars in the 8th house might actually work as like a paramedic, or people that work with people that are in crisis, a police action. You're going to physically go in and help people, solve them, save them, transform them. And so that energizes them. So that is another, it's not only people that are super into sex, but also people that want that transformational energy, because that's the house of transformation, death and rebirth. And so paramedics and anyone that works in these crisis, fire people, firemen, firewomen, that might be another placement where you might see people that really are energized, because again, the planet Mars is where you're energized. And so that 8th house is a little bit like almost under the water. And so it's deep, and it's sometimes kind of hidden, maybe, because they're in areas where people don't want to talk about. You're not really want to physicalize it because it's taboo. There's a lot of taboo in that 8th house, which is why it's really kind of misunderstood. But that 8th house is going to be super passionate. It's going to actually, people are really going to feel a lot of dedication. And again, it depends on the signs of the house. Like I've said before, the signs are like ice cream flavors. I think they're really over thought of for most people, but I think the house positions tell a bigger story. So let's say Aries in the 8th house, that person is going to be really driven, taking action, dating everybody, really, finding lots of lovers or the right lover, or going after girls or going after guys, and taking maybe some dangerous, like loves some danger, because Aries takes action. And Aries in Mars is in its rulership. So it's big, it's going to take over. So then let's talk about Virgo, something completely opposite. Virgo in that house of the 8th house is going to be a little bit more analytical. So it's going to be still going to have that. In fact, Virgo, people think Virgos are prissy. Not the case. So Virgo, Mars in that 8th house is going to still be kind of energized, but you want it to be right. So again, it's not going to be as impulsive perhaps, but you're going to want to get the right person and do the right thing. And so there's a little bit more of a structure. So it's a little more structures to still have that transformation. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Gemini. So Gemini is that mutable sign, and Gemini is very talkative. So probably a Gemini Mars person has the gift of gab, and they are going to be really able to talk. You're going to go to a bar and you're going to have all the lines. You're going to pick up all the women because your mouth is just works. Now be honest, there's a lot of guys that really fail, those lines, but you have the gift of gab. You have the gift of what to say, and using that Gemini energy and action to convince people, to help them, turn them around. So it's not only just dating and sexuality, but other transformative places in the world, like building a business or building income and inheriting money that's not yours. That's also part of it. It's all this stuff that comes in because it's money that we inherit, or we're connected, or that death and rebirth. And so that person, the Gemini, is going to have a little bit more ease in communicating with things. And although they will be selective to who they're going to communicate with. All right, I hope this helps. I'd love to hear your examples or experience, you 8th house Mars people. I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. All right, take care. And yes, I want to also let you know that I have a free group called YouTube Success Strategies, and that's where I'm coaching people on how to be successful on YouTube. And I have another group called Creative Soul Alignment, and that's for people that are interested in spirituality and creativity. Because here's the deal, we are all creative, and in fact, we are on this planet right now to create a world that works for all of us without any creepy overlords telling us what to do. And once we get the vision, because that's how we create, and we all get on board with this vision of a world that works for everybody, we're going to create that world. All right, you can find all the information below in the description. All right, see you later. Bye.